Joyce 101.3. For the rest of the day, mostly cloudy and warm, high 68. Clear to partly cloudy tonight and much colder, low 26. Tomorrow, partly sunny and cooler, high 43. Clear tomorrow night with a low of 21. On Sunday, some sun, then increasing clouds, high 47. Rain in store for Sunday night with a low of 36. For AccuWeather on Rejoice 101.3, I'm Cheryl Golden.
If anyone asks, you're listening to Rejoice, WREJ, Richmond, 101.3 FM, 990 AM.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids, healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate, donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Have you heard about growing plants and rocks and not sure what exactly is going on? Then go to Ashland Ace Hardware and they will show you how. First, buy the book Riverstones Grow Plants by Richard Campbell from either Ashland Ace or Barnes & Noble. Then get your supplies from the hardware store. You will read how to assemble indoor gravel gardens, eating fresh microgreens and sprouts in just 10 days. Time to have your own produce section at home to add daily fresh nutrition to your salads, sandwiches, soups, and smoothies. Harvest, eat, and repeat, and grow fresh produce for decades at home, indoors, or outdoors. Get the book, Riverstones Grow Plants, from Ashland Ace Hardware or Barnes & Noble. Grow in peace as rock is the new green in 2018.
Hello, Richmond. Hello, world. You're tuned in to the Ricky Rocks Talk Show with me, your host, Richard Campbell. And on this show, we talk about growing plants and rocks without soil and fertilizer. Yes, y'all, it's a thing. We also infuse some gospel fusion mixes. This is Black History Month, so we got some of our great songs from our culture mixed in with some house and reggae to bring to you today. Now we've got a lineup of what's been going on in the world of geological agriculture. Well, we were at the Super Bowl last week, so we're going to talk about some of what we did down there with the Healthy Heart Coalition of Fulton County and the city of Atlanta, some of the things they got going on. We're going to look at landscaping. You know, the landscaping community and us, we are talking and we are talking big. We like what we're hearing. We like what they're saying, and it looks like landscaping services may be coming to a city near you shortly. Speaking of cities, we've got mayors. You know, we went to the U.S. Conference of Mayors annual meeting back in the last week of January. And since then, two maverick cities, they've already raised their hand. In addition to Atlanta, we've now got Salt Lake City and now opened up dialogue with Minneapolis, Minnesota. The cold folks. It's interesting dynamics. Both cities, two different climates, two different sets of issues. We're ready for them both here at Geological Agriculture. Also fresh off of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, we got contacted by the apartment community. You know, the American Association of American Apartments. The people who look at all your apartment living and all that. You know, they have a magazine and they reached out to us, said, hey, Richard, do you guys ever got anything in any apartment buildings? And just so, in fact, we did. And so we're talking to them and we're going to talk about what geological agriculture looks like in the apartments. And then let's take it across the pond, across the Atlantic to Africa. You know, we've been talking about this United Nations grant that the World Food Program is out issued. And so far we've got 8 countries. So we're talking about what's going on with that Africa program. And then we're going to look at the Africa Union. You know, we're starting back up our sustainability workshops there at the Africa Union in Washington, D.C. And so we're going to look at that. Now, we're also going to check out Miss Audrey in the studio. If y'all can't see this on the radio, but if you're looking on the... Audrey went from 4 inches to about almost like 3 feet. I mean, geez Louise, this plant is getting taller and taller. So we're going to talk about this plant, this Audrey plant. And I finally figured out what the name of this plant is. You know, this plant is one of these office plants. It's called the golden pothos. It's an office plant, tabletop plant, but it looks like the rocks can handle this plant. And, you know, a lot of times I get the question, hey, Richard, Why is no one else talking about this? So we're going to end the show looking at why no one else is talking about this. So we're going to give a small discourse to that and the whole, natural dereliction of duty that occurs when, something new comes around. So now we're going to stop and look into our first gospel fusion Black History Month mix to get us a little good for our Friday. And we're going to get it going right now. This one comes again straight from DJ YouTube, which we love. And we got it here on the Ricky Rocks Talk Show. It's coming in. WREJ Richmond, 101.3 FM, 998.
Oh, just like the river, I've been running. Oh, just like the river, I've been running.
It's about change. This whole geological agriculture, the messages of these songs, Black History Month, it's about change, new things. What do they say? The only thing is constant is change. So it's okay for change to come. Now, let's look back at our agenda for today. Super Bowl, whoa. It was really going down there in Atlanta. It was happening all over the place. We got to see all types of stuff going on. But in the world of geological agriculture, the biggest thing was that we were able to speak with the Healthy Heart Coalition down there in Fulton County. And that's where we're now talking to the whole medical community. They had universities there for us to engage. And we're really looking at geological agriculture and the heart. You've heard us on some of the prior shows about things we're thinking about and looking at for cancer related to sulfur and sulforain, the active ingredient in broccoli sprouts, a plant. It's one of those plants that's really good for cancer patients and, the whole cancer situation. But when it comes to the healthy heart, we didn't have much experience with that. And so as we were going down, we did some little research and we looked at those nutrients that the tests have shown that our plants are putting out high amounts of, which are phosphorus and nitrogen and sulfur, and cross-reference them to heart health. And we found that phosphorus is one of those elements that keeps the heart flow better, so that, low phosphorus means your arteries can clog faster than with, proper and higher amounts of phosphorus. Then we found that our geological agriculture grown plants puts out high amounts of phosphorus. So we had a great healthy conversation down there in Atlanta during that Super Bowl Saturday with the the Heart Coalition of Fulton County. And so more to come from that, getting academic and medical with it. Now, on the other side of what the geological landscape is all about is the landscaping community. That's where we train the landscaping companies to bring the service of geological agriculture scaping. We call it geoscaping. And so that's where you can call and say, hey, I want this type of rock over here. I want this type of rock garden here, this type of GeoAg garden over here. I want circles. I want a wall. I want beans. These pictures show that I can have a wall of beans and 16 feet tall cherry tomatoes. I want the same thing. Go put it in for me. And so that is what we are talking to the leaders of the landscaping community. And we had an excellent conversation this past Tuesday in Charlotte with one of the giants. So more to come on geoscaping in America, really. These guys are, they're nationwide. So we like them when they're nationwide. It allows all of us to have access to this type of service simultaneously. And speaking of nationwideness, the mayors are stepping up. I got to say, as we walk this rocky road, one would think that by, saying to the right institutions, hey, guys, it's a possibility that, you can get food from rocks. You might want to check into it without soil and fertilizer. Hey, let's do some collaboration. I am a management consultant for federal agencies before the rock. So that means I've worked for the Department of Defense, USAID, Peace Corps, Army, you got in there. So I work a lot with federal agencies and helping them with their challenges as federal institutions. And so when I was working with them, everything was all straight, clean, and forward. But being in the private sector is a little different. And so only those with courage seem to decide to want to look at GeoAg further. Most they jump into this conspiracy program. And we'll talk about that later in terms of why is no one else talking about this. But counter to that are those people like the Healthy Heart Coalition in Atlanta, like these landscaping companies, and like a few select mayors, like Salt Lake City and Minneapolis, who said, hey, we want to check this out. And that's all we want and expect from those in the community is to check out the rocks. The rocks of the planet Earth do more than you know. And so we're happy to be able to start dialogue in those two markets to really look at some ways to look at one, Salt Lake City, they have their own type of issues. They get these super hot summers and this drought season that makes it difficult for the agriculture. So there we have to do all our drought-resistant GeoAg gardening and really also do a lot of course, our indoor, which is universal. The indoor GeoAg microfarm is universal worldwide. You can do that anywhere. That's easy. But it's the outdoor. That's the trick everywhere in trying to get our right configuration outdoors against the environment. Whereas in Minneapolis, where it gets super cold, it's all about our winter-resistant programming. One thing we did find this year in Atlanta and in Washington is that our pea shoots and wheatgrass kind of make it down to 10 degrees. You're talking 5 degrees. The wheatgrass got all the way to 5 degrees, still going. And the pea shoots got all the way down to 10 degrees, still going. So, and those happen to be the number 1, 2, 3, the top of the 5 strongest nutritional plants. So if we can deliver the top 5 strongest nutritional plants down at 5, 6, 7, 10 degrees, we've got a whole new paradigm out there also to take a look at. So we're going to be interesting to see how our experiments this year at places like Minneapolis, where it's super cold, how it works there. Another aspect of the U.S. Conference of Mayors is that the apartment community, we're now engaging the housing folks. For us, how does this work with housing? Okay, so this is how it works with housing. And the housing of tomorrow and your apartments of tomorrow, you want to be able to go in there with your GeoAg kitchens already there for you. You don't have to think about it. It's already there. You getting into your house or an apartment and your condo or whatever, and you want the construction people that have already built the good one in it there already. And so, right now we do see this trend with the medical marijuana community where they have these grow rooms that some developers are starting to add on as features to people in houses. Well, that's what we're expecting to see over time, is that you can ask for GeoAg programming in your home when your builders come to build it. And so we're working with a lot of the cities to, in terms of addressing food desert populations or populations of emerging markets that have the opportunity to do better, do greater things in these, various communities. We want to be able, the good thing about the communities and working with housing is that we can work with a housing commission and then retrofit thousands of units at the same time to provide thousands of families with immediate access to nutrition. When we're delivering 7 days microgreens and sprouts, some of the strongest plants on the planet. So that's what we're looking at with the magazine, the apartment magazine, and the housing community overall. Unfortunately, thanks to some of our good folks in Washington, I think Christy Riggs helped organize us to be at an apartment complex, Station House Apartments, last March. And so this magazine wants to do a feature on them. So we're really happy about the apartment magazine also raising their hand and getting it going. Now, and I'd say in the United States, you got 90% of those organizations you would think be more active on this would or a little slower, and 10% are. So, and we talk about the 10% mainly on the show. But over in Africa, totally different story. We've got 8 countries in Africa already submitting to a grant collectively. And we just met this group of leaders. They're YALI leaders, Young African Leaders Initiative, one of those Obama programs, but it's kind of like our equivalent of Fulbright. And so before we go on to the Africa programming, we're going to stop into our next music mix. It's time to break it up with a little reggae now in our African American History Month activity. So we're going to do a little now reggae interlude. Let's see what we got coming under the bridge, under troubled waters, with our late, great, amazing Aretha Franklin, but the reggae version. Here we go on the Ricky Rocks Talk Show. All right. Come on, reggae, yay. Love that. Come on, you had to love that. Or I love that. We all had to love that. Tributes to the gods. And speaking of which, Africa. Now, over in Africa, it's a whole different story. It's a whole different ball of wax. They hear this straight go mode. There's no, hey, I don't know, let me check with my boss, let me check with my friend, let me check with someone I know. I mean, I think Yola was at the State Department. She's our vice president. She was at the State Department conference in Africa in August for a week. She met 200 people. And here we are in February. And we've got, well, okay, so we've been talking about this UN grant opportunity. And February 4th was the initial deadline. And by the 4th, we had 8 countries of these what we would equivalent Fulbright scholars of their countries, called YALI. They're equivalent to our Fulbright. 8 countries worth of Fulbright-esque people. Not Fulbright people, Fulbright-esque. They're called YALI, Young African Leaders. But 8 countries worth? 8? That's not bad. I don't think that's bad. But guess what? This is Africa. This is the new Africa. Since the United Nations World Food Program said, okay, guys, look, the February 4th deadline, we're going to give you a little bit more time and make it February 28th. So what that means for us is like, wait, we just had 8 ready. Now we have another 20 days with this YALI network. Well, we're going for 20 countries. And now we're going to allow the countries to submit more than one company per country. So we're going for it here, guys. We're going to see, because this is an efficient community here. These African YALI people, they work collectively, they work fast. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, let me check with who I am. And so because of that, it is likely we could get at least, I'm going for at least 10 or 15 countries, but I want 2 companies per country. And, you know, with that kind of benchmark, I think these guys are going to make it. So we're going to be looking to see at the end of the month what's going to go down, how many countries in Africa, how many companies, submissions we have from across the continent. And let's just give a recap. Since the 8, we've got more. So let me tell you what countries in Africa have already raised their hand. That means they've got a team of people together. They're gathering their rocks on their own, and they are all putting in to submit on this grant for their company and their effort, no matter where they are across the continent. So let's start it off. We got Guinea, of course. We got Guinea-Bissau, which is right next to it. Senegal, right next to Guinea-Bissau. We've got Mali, right next to Senegal. A couple countries over, we've got Ghana. We've got Togo. We've got, Mr. Mister in Chad. We've got Miss Nasira Victoria, and she's growing this incredible tomatoes in South Sudan. So South Sudan, one of the newer African countries to join the ranks. They split off not too long ago, the last decade or so. So South Sudan is, and then because of Togo, they invited folks from Uganda. So, you know, right now we're at 9 countries of folks. And then Zambia, they're like, Rich, sorry we couldn't get it together for the 4th. It looks like we might get Zambia in by the 28th. Now, other countries, so that's 9 committed countries and 1 possible. But other countries that we've talked to before who don't know we're still trying and looking to do and looking to work with us is Angola. We got Kenya, we got Tanzania, and so Ivory Coast. And so, you know, we're getting closer and closer. And as we allow more of our African partners and constituents and teammates an opportunity, I think we might get to let's see what kind of number we're going to get to. And the beautiful thing about all of that is that as all that is happening over in Africa, over here in Washington, D.C., at the African Union, we're starting back up our GeoAg workshops at the African Unions on Wednesdays. for the Washington, D.C. community, so we're happy to see that. Now, Mr. Producer, Dr. Producer Flynn is telling me, Rich, you only got 2 minutes left. And I got to say, y'all, this Audrey, the house plant, this Portho plant, look at this thing. It's crazy. It's also called the Devil's Ivy. I just looked it up. So all you want to know if you can do Devil's Ivy, the answer is yes. So I've got to give a call out to the sponsors. Get the book Riverstones Grow Plants from Barnes & Nobles or on Amazon or on other places books are sold. That's the book that talks about the discovery of geological agriculture, the fact that rocks are not inert. The rocks are actually they're credible nutrient sources of material. So get the book Riverstones Grow Plants from Barnes & Nobles and Amazon. Learn more about geological agriculture. See photos online at our website, ToSoilless. That's ToSoilless. That's 2 L's in there. ToSoilless.com. That's to soil less. We're going to soil less environment. And so to soil less, that's also our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, ToSoilless, y'all. So my name is Rich Campbell. This is the Ricky Rocks Talk Show. I'm the author of Riverstones Grow Plant. That's the book that shows us how to grow plants and rocks. We've been doing this for 25 years, y'all. Yes, 25 years. So on YouTube, see videos on YouTube. Search GeoAg, GeoAg -growing in gravel, and you'll see about 80, 90 videos of us talking about growing in gravel and plants and things like that. So, guys, I'm your man, Rich Campbell, on the Ricky Rocks Talk Show, recording live from Richmond, Virginia. We like to say shout out to Rejoice 101.3 FM. Holla!
What if we told you that you can now go to the hardware store, get a bag of rock sand and seeds and eat? What if we told you there was a new science called geological agriculture, the study of growing plants and rocks without soil and fertilizer? Well, these are no longer what-if statements. This is the new reality. Rocks can, in fact, grow plants for you to eat, like broccoli sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, wheatgrass, and microgreens, as well as beans, peas, cucumbers, cilantro, tomatoes, tulips, and more. The book Riverstones Grow Plants by Richard Campbell shows us how to grow plants and rocks indoors or outdoors. Turn that 6-foot table into the new produce section of your home. Get the book Riverstones Grow Plants from Barnes & Nobles and the supplies from your hardware store. Rock is the new green in 2018 with the book Riverstones Grow Plants by Richard Campbell.
If anyone asks, you're listening to Rejoice, WREJ, Richmond, 101.3 FM, 9.